In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a rocket launch animation using Tailwind CSS. Before we begin, a little house cleaning. Every single day I post a live stream. You basically just go to ojambo.com, you go to watch menu, then the live sub menu, then you can see the topics for this and future live streams. And basically you're free to join the live stream and chat about any programming or lifestyle topics, and the link is right there on the article. You click on it, it will take you right to this live stream. If you don't want to do that, you can simply watch below. It's embedded into this article. And also be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments for more frequent content. A quick note before I begin is somebody requested that I do a review of PeerTube. So that's going to be upcoming. I'm not sure the exact date. It'll probably be near the end of this month. I'll post it there. So that, I believe that was Control-Alt-Delete. He requested that one or somebody else, but yeah, so I'll do that for you guys soon. Okay, so in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can add some Spark to your website or just have some fun with Tailwind CSS. So Tailwind CSS is one of those utility CSS classes. So I wanted to see what the big deal is, because I said I usually, especially now with CSS3, it's so much easier, especially with variables, to do your own. But it's a good, this would be a good way to see some of the benefits of using something like Tailwind CSS. So with that, let's actually get started. I don't know if I mentioned, be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments for more frequent content. Okay. So this is just going to be a fun little project. As you can see here in this little animation, you see it's just a little rocket taking off, launching, and then you can see there's a little smoke trail as well, the little engine fire. So I thought it was just a little fun. So that's a little spark, if you will. Okay. So basically, another thing I want to do, I wanted to use pure CSS animation. No JavaScript is actually required. But I will put some JavaScript, especially in future tutorials when I use Tailwind, just to make it a little bit easy, because one of the things when you're a programmer is just because you can do it, basically they're saying use the best tool for the job. So why do something the hard way when you don't have to, and it'll be easier to maintain. All right, so basically what we're going to do today is we're going to use Tailwind CSS. We're going to create pure CSS animations, and we're going to build a looping, so it's going to loop a rocket launch effect with maybe some smoke and stars. We'll see how long this tutorial takes. If you want to continue learning JavaScript and interested in learning more than just styling, you can check out my beginner level book and course. I have the Learning JavaScript course. It's available on Amazon. Just search for Ojambo. Links are also in the description. And I also have the Learning JavaScript online course on ojamboshop.com. The links are also in the description. And if you need more help, I offer one-on-one programming tutorials including HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You can contact me on ojambo.com/contact to schedule a session. All right. Now, some of you guys are a little bit impatient. I do have the code, the HTML, and obviously the CSS, including Tailwind. You can simply just expand here to get the source, and then you can simply copy it into the text editor. I also have an interactive demo. As you see the interactive demo here, you can see it has the little stars, they're sparkling a little bit, and then obviously you see the rocket goes, and here's what it would actually look like when we're finished. And you can see I said I'll add all that if we do have time. You can also go ahead and add like a countdown. You can do that with CSS or JavaScript. So for example, here you can say T-5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and it can pop up there. We don't have time to do that today. As I said, this tutorial will take too long, but I'll get the gist of it, which is basically, as you can see here, the rocket ship launching and moving up. And you can watch, obviously if you guys are watching this, you're watching it live right now, or later on, it will be embedded onto the article, where you can, for example, if I play this, you can see it's live. All right, so let's head over to the code here. I have GNOME text editor open here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more so people who are on the vertical screens will be able to see this. So basically the usual stuff, we have the doc type, we have HTML, You don't need to put the language, but this is just you know, if you're translating to other languages, it's a good idea to let screen readers know that, for example, this app is in English, or if you have another one, you put. And you can also put the locale. So for example, if I put in/CA, that doesn't stand for California, that stands for Canada, and obviously you have UK, and you know, etc., and obviously US as well for the different languages, Australia, South Africa, etc. as well. And then we have the char set in the head section. The viewport I set to the device width, and I put the initial scale to 1. So this way it'll be easier to it'll be easier on mobile devices, so smaller devices, just to see what I want to focus on to the main content. I gave it a title called CSS Rocket Launch Loop, and then we have the script here to grab the Tailwind CSS, a CDN. CDN means it's a network, content delivery network. That's what CDN stands for, if you didn't know that. Meaning that it's much faster for those CDNs to host it than if I host it locally. What that means is that, for example, let's say I'm in Canada right now. Let's say somebody is in, I don't know, Australia or Japan. You know, they're about 15, they're basically halfway around the world from me. So those type of people, if you use a CDN, they'll be served by one of the network closest to them, not in mine here. I'm in Canada on the East Coast. Okay, so we're doing some styling here. Just give it a background color. I just gave it a radiant, some grayish, darkish color in the background. And then for the stars, just make them 2 pixels by 2 pixels. Make the background white. So basically they're just little dots. And then the opacity is 0.8. And we animate. So we animate. I create an animation. I use keyframes. I call it twinkle. Oh, can't say it. Twinkle. And I set it to 2 seconds, infinite, meaning it will continuously go on and ease out. So basically, what as you see, our keyframes here, from 0 to 100%, the opacity will be set to 0.2, and then at 50% it's set to 1. So what this will do is, when it's at 0, the opacity will be 0.2. So you will be able to not really see it, and then at 50% it will be set to 1. So 1, it will be fully opaque. And then back to 100% it will be 0.2. So because it's looping continuously, it will give it that little. If I go back here, you can see, yeah. So that will give it this little. You see that? It will give it a light animation there. You know, nice little trick. Now you guys learned something there as well. And then for the smoke puff, you see how the smoke is here. So that's also a bunch of animations. You can see I call them a smoke puff. And I set them out to 2 seconds. They ease out, infinite. Infinite means they continuously go on. And then there's a little delay, and I'll explain why there's an animation delay. That's because you see the smoke. You see when the smoke comes, it delays until the jet fume has finished. Okay, so that's how we do it. And the keyframes again, this case will translate on the y-axis. And set the opacity to 1, and then translate y minus 10 pixels, then 120 viewport height 0, and translate y with 0 again 1%. So what that does is, if you notice, once the rocket is off screen, it shows up down here again. So what I want to do, I didn't have time. I said I don't want to make it too complicated. This is supposed to show, like, if you ever watch those 50s and 60s movies or B movies, what it would do is it would follow the screen, meaning that it would be like a camera view. So basically the rocket goes up here, then it goes off screen, and then it catch it again at the bottom. It's in a different place. I said I didn't have time to animate that, and I didn't want to use JavaScript, so I built it like that, and it works pretty well for me. And then obviously we have the animation loop. I've already explained that. That will be 10 seconds, ease and out. Same thing, the keyframe, we call it countdown fade. The opacity will be at 0%. At 0% it will be set to 1. At 60% it's set to 1, and 100% it's set to 0, and visibility is hidden. That's why it goes off screen here and then comes back again. So that's a little trick. And then obviously we have the countdown fade, 10 seconds, ease forward. So meaning it's going forward. It doesn't like reverse like the way we are doing all the others. So that's a little trick there, as I said. So Then after that, we just have a little bit of JavaScript. The reason we use JavaScript, as I said, use the best tool for the job. We did a little bit of JavaScript, so the way JavaScript is supposed to work is it's supposed to we're supposed to randomly put the stars. If I had to do this in CSS, my goodness, that would take such a long time. Obviously, with JavaScript, it's just how many lines of like 6 lines of code, and you see we have our I don't know how many stars are there, 100 stars or so. No, it's 80. It's 80 stars. So so there's 80 because we start counting on 0. So you see there's 80 stars. If I try to do that in Java in just CSS, that would take all day. The file will be thousands of lines. But I said use the best tool for the job. In this case, it's JavaScript. And then after that, we have our. This is where you might be saying, hey, wait a minute. When do you actually start using Tailwind CSS? This is where we actually start using Tailwind CSS. So for example, we have this countdown, T-5. We set it to absolute, and so it only shows one time because after it disappears, what will happen is you don't show it again. So that's a trick. Remember I told you, see it starts at T-5. I said you can add some JavaScript to do a proper countdown, but T-5 is perfectly fine for my use case here. And then if you see inside here, we have absolute, top 10, text, -5XL, font, -bold, and countdown. So what does this all mean? So all of those CSS rules, they're all, except maybe for countdown, they're all styled by Tailwind CSS. I didn't have to touch any code at all. So Tailwind took care of that. And then for the rocket itself, if you notice, it's relative W-24. This is the width and height. So the height is set to 72, MB10, and launch -loop. So again, that's all done by Tailwind CSS. And then for the smoke, you can see here we have absolute bottom -0, then left -half, then translate -x -half. So that's also done with Tailwind. And as you can see here, now you guys probably know this. For example, for the smoke, you see W-4 space H-4. That obviously stands for the width. And then BG obviously stands for background. Set it to gray and rounded full. So you guys get opacity and so forth and so forth and so forth. So that's how you use Tailwind CSS. So I'm not going to go through this one, but they're pretty straightforward. For example, this one, BG-gray -500. That's pretty straightforward. That stands for background, right? And Tailwind, also another reason people like using it is that you don't need to have media queries. It automatically detects the screen is small and set its size. However, if you want to tweak it yourself, like if you know programming like I do, you can do that yourself. And then for the flame as well, you see I put, for example, yellow -400, animate -ping. So those are all Tailwind CSS rules, and the rocket body as well. So see, if you notice in my CSS, I didn't mention anything about the body or the colors or anything like that. So I want to touch this a little bit, because one thing you'll notice about this one in the body is we have, for example, in the height, we have height then I put square brackets, I put 13 rem. What does that mean? That means that you can specify your like a fixed or a hard-coded one. So that's what I did. So I set it to 13 rem. So that's the height here. And then obviously the cone or the nose, that's that's this part here. You can see here again the position, absolute, top, left, and then all of that. And then you see here I also put 24 pixels in square brackets. That just tells you where it should be. So that's basically how we use Tailwind Tailwind CSS. Now, one thing you might not like is there's so many classes you have to use, but that's how to, I guess, use less less code there. And then obviously for the wings I'll show you are these ones here. So those ones, as you can see, we also have an absolute and rotate. You see they're rotated, so you could rotate -45, and that's what that would when you see BG-gray -500. So that's obviously gray, and that's the strength of the gray, the grayness. Okay, so that's basically it, and I believe this is a model. This is not a model, so I should be able to simply drag and drop this into a web browser. So I'm going to open up Chromium. Chromium has been actually crashing quite a bit. Hopefully it doesn't crash here. It's been crashing like every single day for the past 3 days. Hopefully it doesn't crash today. So basically just take this, drag it into your web browser. I'm using Wayland. Come on, you can do it. Just drag it here. Okay, there we go. Oops. Okay, I'll refresh again. Okay, if in case you didn't see that, watch what happens. T-5, you see it slowly fades out. Oh, it should have. Okay, yeah, you see it slowly fades out, and then you in another position, you see, then we keep on going. You see the rocket also kind of slightly fades out when it goes up there. So that mimics the rocket launching, and you once it's kind of going off screen, you see that. So the good thing, this is one of the good things about OBS, is that because it's slowing down my screen, you guys can actually see the rocket animation. Hopefully it's slowed down enough so you can see it. I'll just slow down the screen so you see it. So that's basically it. I said this is just a fun little project. Yeah, just to show you what you can do with Tailwind CSS. You see, basically, if I had to do this in pure CSS, I don't think it would take, honestly, I don't think it would take me that much time, but especially now with variables, I could probably do the same thing. But if you want to use Tailwind, there you go. The reason I did this is because I was contacted by someone who was applying for a job, and they were saying, hey, can you do something about Tailwind CSS? So here you go. Hope you like it. Yeah, so there you go. So somebody asked me another question of somebody else, not the same person, about why I don't use frameworks or things like this for my work. And the reason, as I said, is because I'm a freelance programmer. If I do this, I will need to maintain it. So that's why I prefer to use just standard stuff, whether it's CSS or JavaScript, because it's not like, oh, we found a bug, then you have to go and update this framework. You have to update the JavaScript framework. So I have nothing against using frameworks. I've used them. That's how I did learn. So whether it's JavaScript, like jQuery, most tools, all of those, and the CSS, whether it's Sass, CSS, and all, etc. I don't have a problem. It's just that you have to be able to maintain them as well. So if a client is going to pay me to maintain at least once a month, sure, then I'll gladly use it. But I'm saying most of them want something one and done, and maybe once in a while, once a year or so. But I feel bad giving people work, and then it's like, oh, they're running a very old version, right? So that's the reason. Okay, so let's finish this up. I don't want this to take too long. Oh, I should actually leave it here running. Okay, so where were we? Okay, so what's next? You can try adding parallax backgrounds or sound effects, and you can use this on intro screen or background for your site. You can customize the rocket to match your branding. So this rocket launch animation is a fun visual way to learn CSS animation using Tailwind. Whether you're building a space themed site or learning front-end techniques, it's a great project to add to portfolio. Okay, now with that said, a quick reminder that I do a live stream every single day, usually about 2 p.m. Eastern. Just simply go to ojambo.com, go to the watch menu, the live sub menu. You can see topics for this and upcoming live streams. Also, be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments for more frequent content. I'd like to thank everybody who subscribed so far this month. Keep it up. I always say it motivates me. That's not really a good analogy, word I want to use. Let's just say it inspires me to keep on making tutorials just like this for you guys. So if you guys have a request, if you want me to continue with other CSS frameworks, or if you want me just to go to pure CSS, I can do that as well. Okay, with that said, I'm going to check the live stream. I don't see a live chat today. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to close this live stream, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day. Oh, by the way, today is the first day it's not like hot. That's why I'm actually able to wear like white and actually open the window so you get more light. So see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.